Geologically, the bay is relatively young. The seas have been rising for the past 10,000 years or so naturally, even before global climate change. The seas have been rising as the glaciers melted, and at a certain point they started to flow into this low-lying area called San Francisco Bay. It's only in the last 2,000 to 3,000 years that sea level rise slowed enough that the marshes could develop around the edges. The marshlands are these somewhat wet, partially aquatic and partially terrestrial. They're in between land and water, so they get covered by the higher tides.
Where we're standing in the 1880s would have been towards the outer edge of a vast tidal marsh that went all the way up to Petaluma and all the way back to the hills over there. All the flat land that you can see around here was tidal marsh. But these were the extensive tidal marsh systems that supported a huge variety of species and a huge abundance of species. And this line here, you can't see it, used to be a levee that was constructed by the local farmers to dike off the salt marsh on the landward side so that they could drain it and convert it to hay fields or for grazing or for other agricultural uses. The history of San Francisco Bay is very similar to estuaries around the country and also around the world, which is that the flat marshland around the perimeter of the estuary is very attractive, very easy to dike off and to use for farmland or for salt ponds or for development. This is what happened in San Francisco Bay, where we lost something like 90% of our tidal marshes by the 1960s.